All right, this is a gold video, UFC breakdown. We're breaking down UFC London. I'm going to try to attempt to get 30 hours of research, video research, digital research, data breakdown. We try to get 30 hours of it in less than 15 minutes. You guys with me? All right, let's go. First up on the card, we're going to tackle the main event. We have got Evloev and Ron Murphy coming up right at you guys. All right. Main event, classic control versus range striking matchup. It's 5-rounder. Murphy sharp with the striking. He uses reach well. Evloev brings a completely different kind of pressure. Chain wrestling, almost like a Marab. He's built to win minutes rather than specific moments. You know, those add up on the cards. People say that's a boring style. I can see why and how they would say that, but we just won a ton of money last week with Jillian Robertson doing the same exact thing. So we don't mind that at all. We're going to go and keep it moving right into Luke Riley versus Mike Aswell Jr. Luke Riley, he showed a lot of patience in his first fight, and he showed everything that you want a prospect to show. Everything they said about him, that he was doing on the lower levels, that we watched his tape, he did in his first fight, but he did it with composure. He strikes with accuracy. And I think, Michael Aswell wants to make this fight chaos. That would benefit him. But even in the chaos, I think Riley stays composed. I think Riley, he's going to be able to deal with Aswell's pressure, his volume, and if Michael Aswell starts to fade whatsoever, Luke Riley's going to put him out. Matter of fact, Riley doesn't need high output either. His shots are clean. Kid has a lot of power in his hands. He's natural. He looks good. I like him. Next up on the card, this one has a lot of disagreement out there, and at our table, I know that MC and Librarian disagreed on this one. I'm coming down the middle, and I was choosing on the side of Warlord. All right, range striker again versus a submission threat. Although both of these guys are more than one dimension. I think both of them have multiple ways to win the fight. The thing is, MVP is not Patchy Mix. You know what I'm saying? MVP has been doing this on the highest levels. He's got striking that Patterson hasn't seen before, and it's going to be a true test. If he can get past a guy like MVP this early in his career, then his career is going to take sort of a parallel course with Lonnie Kavanaugh. Lonnie Kavanaugh, I could definitely see these two rising on the same level if he gets past MVP. And my lean is that I don't think he is going to get past him in this matchup. If this fight stays standing, Page dictates everything: tempo, spacing, scoring. But if Patterson can, if he can get this fight to the ground and keep MVP down there at least one good time, he could flip the entire fight. He could win that round, and then who knows what's going on in the next round. He's live to get a submission. So my lean is Venom Page, control, experience, but like I said, Patterson's absolutely live if he can force the fight to the ground. This next one up is a key fight in the overall scheme of things, in the overall strategy of the week. We got Iowa Baranowski going against, oh my God, I can't believe my man Austin Lane is still around here. Yeah, he might not be after this fight. This is pure pressure prospect on the come up, pure potential versus Austin Lane's instability and insufficiency. Baranowski's coming forward. He's going to force the pace. Once he gets going, All fights tend to avalanche in one direction. Lane has size, he's got experience, but he struggles when the fights, speed up and builds pressure. He starts making bad decisions. If Baranowski establishes the momentum early, we're looking at one-way traffic. This won't go past the first round. That's an if. That's an if. Lane's only real path to slowing things down is creating space, but historically, he can't keep that space under pressure. Baranowski is the more reliable side here by far, especially early. This fight got one of the highest marks on our card. The lines seem a little bit wide in this fight, but trust me, they're warranted. And I try to give you another way that these all could go. Austin Lane could win this fight if Baranowski's gas tank hasn't been tested. Obviously, the kid's been knocking guys out left and right, much in the same way as Rodolfo Bellato did to Luke Fernandez. If he can withstand that pressure, eat some shots, and then gas Baranowski, he can win this fight. I don't see it happening. The lead is Baranowski. Next up, another fun one. This is another one that is key to the strategy of the week. We got Roman Dolidze versus CLD. Christian Leroy Duncan. Now, again, we got structure versus chaos. Duncan, excellent long reach, 79-inch reach. He's going to fight at range. He wants to control the tempo. He's got great power, steady output. Dolidze is looking to close distance. He wants to force grappling. He wants to make things dirty. Also, Dolidze is a short notice replacement for this fight. As far as I could get my hands on all the information, everything we found where Roman Dolidze knew about this fight about 3.5 weeks before fight week itself, which, it's in London, so there's a place you gotta be, you gotta cut weight, you gotta make flights, you gotta passports, all that stuff goes on all the time, and he's no stranger to it. Dolidze is a veteran in this business. But just all that together, CLD is going to be too much for him in this. In my opinion, the lean in this one has got to be CLD. He is on his way to big things, we believe. Next up, another fun one. People bitch about these cards all the time, but I love them. I love these matchups. I like to see these different guys. We got the Pink Panther, Curtis Campbell, going against Danny Silva. Danny Silva throws good hands. I like Danny Silva. Watching the fight tape, reviewing, getting ready for this. I tell you what, I like Curtis Campbell too. Guy can wrestle, man. He gets you down. He knows what he wants to do. And he does it. And no one on that level has been able to stop him yet. Welcome to the UFC, Pink Panther. You'll notice the Pink Panther out there. There's been people out there complaining because Curtis Campbell has his own custom shorts already. The UFC treats most things like a uniform, black, white, they tell you almost what you got to have until you get to a certain level. You'll see Brandon Moreno rocking the custom shorts in Mexico City. Okay, they give leeway on those things. Curtis Campbell is rocking his own custom shorts in his very first match. The Pink Panther has some clout coming in, and it's deservedly so. The guy looked good. This is about, this fight is about projection versus proven resistance. Campbell looks clean, composed, technically sound. He hasn't been tested at this level. Silva's already dealt with UFC pace, pressure, experience matters in these spots. If this fight stays controlled, Campbell can look sharp and he can win minutes. But if Silva pushes the pace, forces adjustments, Campbell can't hold up against a top. I'm not going to say that. I didn't mean to say a top UFC fighter. He is 2-1. I did not mean to say a top UFC fighter. Warlord came out with Silva on this. And before I even ran this one through the system, getting ready, studying, watching the review, doing the Alex in this, I gotta tell you, I like Silva in this one too. Give me this fight in 2 or 3 years, a rematch, and I bet you the review might go to Campbell's side, Curtis Campbell. But right now, you gotta prove it on your first time in, man. And you're debuting in London, big crowd, a lot of hype, a lot of pressure. But hey, I'm excited. It's just a few hours, man, until we see what Curtis Campbell got. All right, next up, it's Mason Jones versus Axel Sola. And this is definitely a tempo mismatch fight. Jones brings pressure, volume, experience. He forces fights and makes them uncomfortable. He's a known quantity in the UFC. Sola's longer, more measured. He wants to control exchanges, almost like a CLT without that same kind of pop. But he hasn't shown the same ability to deal with pressure as Mason Jones has. Mason Jones has been in fire. Mason Jones has come up the other side. Sola has yet to be in the fire. So he's undefeated. He's got 11-1 pro fights in UFC. He's only 1-0. Mason Jones is only 3-2. But I think he's on fire right now. I think he's in good form, as they say on the pitch. Next up, we're gonna get into the lines. Yeah, we won't get into the lines on this video. We'll keep it pure breakdown of the fights, the winners. Keita, he's got power. He's got all the physical tools. He's got explosiveness. He can finish. There's a lot of guys like that. My man Atiba. How does he deal with UFC grappling? How does he deal with UFC guys who can control? With veterans who've been there and done that, with all the toughest strikers in the world, and still made it out of that third round. This is what we need to find out about Keita. What's this proven? He's got high output. What is proven? He's high output, durable. He's experienced against strong competition. His path to victory is steady in this one. You just got to keep the control, layer, keep mixing up and down. Over 3 rounds, I'm leaning wood, but Keita very live early, especially early, to get the finish, and would not be surprised if he did. We go on to the next one, Mario Pinto versus Felipe Franco. Felipe Franco is making his debut. From everything that I've seen in all fights that I watched, Felipe Franco is a light heavyweight. Okay, granted, so he won't have to make a weight cut here. But Mario Pinto is a full-sized machine. It's a physical mismatch. Pinto has the size, reach, and power. I believe that, like I said previously in a different fight, Franco's only path to victory here is not just if Franco's going to grab. That's what he does. And to this point in his career, making his first UFC fight on the lower circuit, he hasn't had to do anything but grapple. He's been able to out-grapple all his opponents, on the way to victory. So now you're coming against a guy who's towering over you. The takedowns might not be as easy to get. He might catch you on the way in with something. It's always a concern. Now, one of the ways that Franco can win this, and my only concern, would be that Pinto's gas tank, such a large guy, his gas tank is not the greatest. If he can keep the pressure on him up against the cage, Pinto, which is going to be hard to do, but if he can tire Pinto out, then possibly he could overcome him, maybe wrestle him, get the win. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I strongly favor Pinto with high confidence in this fight, and we will keep on moving. Next, Antonio Ciccoli versus Montas Kondratakavicius. Yeah, did I butcher that? Well, I'm not going to try it again. Ciccoli versus Montas is what we're going with. This is experience versus that momentum. This week is we got to keep that momentum going. Montas wants to keep that momentum going. Surely, Ciccoli's been in there with better competition. Yeah, no crap. Montas hasn't been in the UFC ring yet, but his recent outputs have been, his recent performances have low output, very reactive. Basically, he's getting beat up and flying all around. I don't think he has any more fights left after this in the UFC. I think his contract is up, if I'm not mistaken, and come on, I don't see him getting another one. Can you guys? We'll see how that goes. But this is a strong lean towards Montas's momentum, his forward pressure, Ciccoli's just willingness to fold, almost reminiscent of Marseille last week. Oh, he could have made that such a beautiful meet. We could have swept it, damn. Would have been a sweep. Because Petrino didn't knock out Steve Asplund, but it would have been fantastic. It was a fantastic week. Don't get me wrong. It was a fantastic week. But we would have been on the moon had Omar Sy came through. He didn't. He did not. And I should have known. I've never seen him tap like that before. He didn't fight the hands. He didn't do anything to try to get out of the guillotine. He just ate it and tapped. As soon as almost it came down. Very, very, very spooky on that one. I didn't like it. I see the same kind of behavior from Ciccoli in his fights. I've actually seen it more in his fights than hell, damn near anybody I've ever seen do that kind of stuff. He doesn't want to be in there. He's there for pay, and he's getting that pay whether he makes it to the last round or not. Lean is Montas. All right, a couple more big boys. There's a lot of big boys on this one. Heavyweights showing out in London. Hey, if it's even just 4 big boys up in there fighting around, right? If it's even just a few of them, pushing a lot of weight around. How the hell is Baranowski light heavyweight? Jesus, that's a monster. All right, so in this one with Sutherland versus Perisic, you got early power coming from Sutherland versus power, but better form, better structure coming from Perisic. Sutherland's dangerous early, but his effectiveness drops as the fight goes on because he is a gasser. If you look at the size of this man, he could beat anything but a gasser. If he got to a point where he wouldn't, be so tired so early, and his body wouldn't look like that, But he doesn't care about that because he's a heavyweight. He can put most people planning it out with one punch. We understand that. But Brando Perisic is not most people on the planet. He is a human just as big as Louis Sutherland, and he's got more balance. He gets stronger as the fight goes on. He doesn't gas yet. If Sutherland lands early, this could end fast, but in truth, it can end fast either way with either one of these guys. If Perisic survives the initial window, though, the fight shifts heavily in his favor. Heavily. My lean has got to be to the sustainability and adaptability of Brando. Next up, Shem Rock versus Al Saoudi. This is one of those ones where we have some house disagreement. Oh yeah. I tell you myself, I like Shamrock. I bet against him. His last fight. And boy had me on edge the whole fight. I thought he was going to rise up and steal that debut. He was getting stronger as the fight went on. he was the one taking over in the third round. You gotta love that about Shamrock. Also, all he's gonna bring range, or he wants to fight at range. Shem wants to bring that pressure grappling, wants to get all up in your face and make you uncomfortable. Rock has a physical advantage, and if he wants to fight at distance, he would be able to. But I don't think he's going to want to. So what he thinks he's going to want to mix in his wrestling. But if he gets in that wrestling, Rock has jiu-jitsu. He can put you out. I seen him take somebody to rear naked standing. And that was awesome. If Shamrock can do his thing, he can control his fight and win. The odds on this one have flipped completely during this week. Shamrock is now the favorite to win. Most of the money's coming in on him, but it could be big English money. You don't know. Guys from over there, they do love him. We will see. My lean personally is Shamrock. All right. Yep. This is the very first fight we have up on the card. And if you didn't know, now you should know. Well, now you will know. Melissa Mullins and Lana Dread Carolina is canceled. Lana Dread Carolina came in 8 pounds over. So that is way too much to just let the fight go, as Melissa Mullins was hoping and begging for. Yep, I tell you what, there's still time. By the time, between this video getting to you guys and the fight's actually starting, I hope they find Melissa Mullins' opponent. I hope somebody steps up, somebody on the circuit out there in England who's just ready to step up and do the UFC a solid. Maybe they can take care of her, whatever. Get Melissa Mullins on that card again. She worked too hard for this. Yeah, we were going against her anyway, but we'll flip that. We'll be on her side to get some noob up in there. Oh, sorry. You don't need to go over there. Before we get there, let's tackle this one. Chanel Dyer versus Ravenna Oliveira. Pressure versus hesitation. Can we call this one? Chanel Dyer's going to bring it. She's going to bring it from the jumper, forward pressure, forward pace. She's going to try to overwhelm Ravenna. Ravenna's going to try to look cute and try not to get hurt. No, I did take it back. She has no fear on there. She's going to be out there. She's a fighter. But she tends to react. She needs control. She needs control in phases to succeed. She needs a perfect fight. She needs things to go perfectly. Rarely do things ever go perfectly. Someone like Chanel Dyer on the other side, they're not going to go perfectly. Dyer's going to set a tempo. Oliveira, I'm betting, is willing to struggle to keep up, or she's going to struggle to keep up. She's only got one real path to this one. It's grappling, but grappling in a way that's going to slow things down. I think Dyer is someone UFC is going to be looking at heavily in these future years coming up. I think she's going to become the class of this class, but only time will tell. And right now, we are out of time. This one went much longer than I hoped it would. So I'll let you guys go. Be on the lookout for a red video to tell you what we're getting down with. Thanks, everybody. Peace. Hey, if you don't mind, man, hit that like button on the way out. Throw me a comment if you actually stay to the end. Take care, y'all.